Daylight breaks over the ridge. The hounds strike. No crowds, no cameras, just a track and the hounds that bring the story to life. That's what this show's about. Dogs, dirt roads, early mornings, and the people who live it. This is Creekside Chronicles. Hounds, hunting, and heritage. I am your host, Heath Hyatt, houndsman, hunter, and a lifelong student of the outdoors. Here, we chase more than game. We chase knowledge about hounds, hunting, and living the outdoor life the right way. From bear country to back roads, this is where the hunt meets heart, and every story runs a different trail. So pull up your chair by the creek, leash up your best hound, and let's get after it together. Performance starts in the feed. Inukshuk's high-fat content fuels long runs and hard hunts, giving dogs the steady energy they need, while quality protein supports faster recovery after the work is done. That's why I trust Inukshuk dog food. Packed with energy and nutrition dogs need to go further, run harder, and recover stronger. If you want extreme performance, you can look them up at Inukshuk Professional Dog Food or Corey.ca. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Creekside Chronicles. This is going to be the spring edition because spring has sprung. As I sit here looking out the window up into the field, my yard has got those thick patches in it. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. Yesterday while I was feeding, I was like, God, I need to get the mower out and hit these high spots. I know it's going to frost or freeze again. I know it is. And if I do that, it's just going to set my grass back, which is not a bad thing. Gives me time to do other things. But yeah, I'm going to pay for it. I can see it already. But yeah, spring is here. Spring is finally here. Hopefully everybody had a good trip to APA days if they went last weekend. I did not get to go. I had a prior obligation that I had to attend, so I did not get to make the trip, and I hate that I missed it. That's one of the things that I enjoy going to every year, catching up with people and talking. So hope you had a great time. But spring. So I was out on the creek the other morning doing a little trout fishing, and turkeys were gobbling. Yes, turkey season is right around the corner. You know, spring is here. Everything's starting to show up. The woods are starting to turn green. Turkey season coming in. You know, I've been trying to sneak out, catch some fishing, and on top of that, try to keep dogs busy. And like we talked about in the last episode, I'm still going through that evaluation process. I have let one really nice young dog go. I'm still working on a couple more. I'm doing that. Like I said, I'm trying to take my time. And sometimes we get aggravated with our dogs and we're like, okay, I'm done with that. And it's that one trigger. It's that one moment. I think we talked about that in the last podcast. It's that one time, and that just kind of pushes you over the edge. You're already like on the fence and so on and so forth. But so I'm trying to slow down, make sure my evaluations are right. I keep a journal during hunting season. I picked this. A lot of people keep journals, but in the canine field in the world, like at training, you have to log all your trainings, and then your deployments, you have to log all your deployments. Like it's not an option. Like the only way to show reliability with your dog is through your training. And then your certifications just says I can meet a standard. Like the dog can identify coon track, the dog can take that track from point A to point B and locate that coon. Basically, that's what the certification is in law enforcement. It's very simple. It's not anything to trick the dog. It's not anything. So I've really gotten a habit of keeping notes, even with my hounds. So I've been going back through my book, and you can get those books from Cajun Lights. He's carrying them in stock. In fact, the last time I seen him, where was that at? Autumn Oaks. I think I bought two from him. But yeah, so I keep notes. So I'm going back through my notes from the beginning, and I'm doing it dog by dog. I'm trying not to jump around. So I'm going through that, making sure my evaluation process is okay. But since spring is here, right? And we love this Virginia weather. I mean, one day it's 80, next day it's 30, back and forth, back and forth. We're kind of leveling out in that 40s to 60 range. Let's hope it stays there. But while I'm trying to do everything else, because spring is, we're doing yard work, we're fishing, turkey season, we're out turkey hunting. How do you keep those dogs busy? Like, what do you do when you've got 2 or 3 other things that you're doing or going, and how do you maintain that? So let's just go over the dog stuff real quick. We're going to change this podcast up a little bit. It's not going to be all about dogs today, but conditioning. Like I've done a couple little projects outside, and again, I'm very blessed because I live in a farming community, and I can turn my dogs out. I don't turn them all out, or I'd have them running from here to Hades, right? But yesterday I was out working in the yard, and I turned two dogs out. One of my older gyps that doesn't get out a whole lot. I turned her out, let her run around, and I turned one of the younger dogs loose and let them run around. So I let 2 out, let them run around while I was doing what I was working on in the yard. So, just letting them out, letting them be active, that helps cut a little bit of that weight. And I'm telling you, like, I really packed the weight on this winter, especially that cold spell we talked about, that 2.5 weeks for us under 32 degrees. I'm feeding the 32 Inukshuk, and like I had 2 dogs that I could even see dropping weight that I had to up, but everybody else kind of maintained. And as I fed through the rest of that feed, they put on a little weight. They got that baby fat, but they put on. So get them out, getting them active, right? Just getting them moving, getting them out and moving. I noticed one of my dogs. Now I use the concrete pavers in my pens. I noticed that one of my dog's toenails were chipped. So the other day I just took the clippers and trimmed that up. And then you got to start looking at the fleas and ticks. So March 2nd, let's go all the way back to March 2nd. We were in one of our training areas with the canines, and we were doing tracking, and several guys said they were picking ticks off of them. This is March the 2nd, right after we've had, a month of cold weather. So you can't get rid of them things. But one of the things I like to do is when I'm doing my pre-scouting for turkey, I have a couple of smaller plots of land. When I say smaller, I got one that's 136 acres. I got one that's a little over 50 acres. But I'll take my pups or my young dogs with me when I'm scouting and let them I'm just doing the walk in the woods, right? I'm just letting them get out. I'm letting them explore, and they may be past that point. But I'm working on obedience. I'm working on, just manners and stuff like that. So I take them on walks in the woods with me. I know that on national forest, especially here, that's kind of a no-no to have a dog out because they are typically hunting at this point. But on my private property that I've got, and like I said, I don't have much, but I'll take my young dogs with me. I'm setting up trail cams. I did this last week. I went and put up 2 cams on one of the properties, and I took the year-old with me. Like, hey, let's go. You want to go on a ride? Yeah, come on, let's go. Hop up in the truck, and we went and put up some trail cams, and we walked the boundaries of the property, and just getting them out, letting them explore. You know, it's actually one of the best times of year to do some of that work with your young dogs. Again, there's no pressure, there's no chases, there's no expectations. It's just getting them out, spending some time with them one-on-one, right? There's part of that evaluation process, one-on-one, and not to mention that warmer weather starts to change the scenting conditions, and we all know this. So that's just a few things I do with those dogs. But if you have a place where you can road your dogs, or you have a big area, like one of my buddies, he's posting pictures all the time. He's out feeding the cattle on the tractor, and he's got his pups running with him. I know he's got two big farms in his family, and like he's able to take the dogs out and let them run and do whatever. So I mean, it's good for their stamina. It's good for bonding, um, and getting them out once a week or twice a week is better than no times a week, right? Puppies. If I have puppy, and I do not like to raise pups in the winter. In fact, I had two gyps that I wanted to breed, not at the same time, but they both come in heat within a week of each other, and I didn't breed them because I didn't want to have pups in mid-January, and that was a smart decision on our part, because that's when that cold weather kicked in, and we had that 2.5 weeks of freezing temperatures. So they would have been in the basement, and no problem. We'd have raised them in the basement, but it's always just a chore, and it's more difficult to do that. So anyway, just scent drags. Like if I've got pups this time of year, I'm gonna do my drags. Work on the dogs just putting their nose down and following, and odor. I got a lot of people that ask me. I mean, I've had several messages over the last 6 months. What kind of odor what kind of scent are you using? What guys? Again, the scent's irrelevant, right? Yes, we would like to get them on coon scent or bear scent or cat, lion, deer, whatever, fox. But those synthetic blends, I just don't know how accurate they are. I'm looking at it from a different perspective. Yes, I'm using bear odor, and just for everybody out there, right now, I'm using the Pete Richards stuff. I think it's super, super strong. I actually water it down because it is so potent, and that's what I'm using. And there's no particular reason why. It's just what I can get my hands on. But the objective for me is to go to point A to point B, right? I don't really care about the scent. I just want the dogs to be able to trail something from point A to point B, or follow it with their nose. Okay, I'm not talking about trailing, but that's what I like to do. So that's just a simple thing that I can do with my young dogs, and it's not a bad idea if you've got those started dogs, those 8, 10, 12, 14-month old dogs. You can do a couple of a little bit harder tracks that add some age to them, maybe some more difficult stuff. I like to use, like where the house is. I like to use the fences. Like I like to do fence crossings and stuff with them. Make them challenging. Hey, remember we talked about this last week when we were evaluating? Can they figure out problems? Right. So set a little obstacle in front of them. See how they do it. It's easy. And again, loading in the box, coming when called. I work on that when I'm out doing my pre-scouting, or I'm out taking my trail cams and taking the young dog with me. Like we're continuously building on that repetition, repetition, repetition. Like I want to build on what the foundation is I've started. Right? I'm going to continue to do that. And I've said this over numerous podcasts. Just because I got a 5-year-old dog don't mean I don't need to do some maintenance work. Right? Like you play basketball through high school. You take a year off. You got to go back to the gym and practice, right? You just can't throw yourself right into it. It's the same thing with older dogs. Like it's the same mentality. So, a lot of people kennel their dogs all spring and summer, but even a little bit of work each week, a little bit will keep them sharp. Getting them out once a week. And like I said, a lot of times that's my time when I'm out working in the yard. I'm out mowing. If I'm out mowing, it takes me a little over an hour to mow. Like I'll let two dogs out while I'm mowing the front, and then I'll put them up and I'll let two dogs out while I'm mowing the back. And I've just let four dogs out. I've let them run around. I've let them get out, stretch their legs. You know, even though we don't think it's conditioning, just like yesterday, I'd let my old Jip out and she ran around the yard for like 30 minutes and her tongue was hanging out. It was like, oh, wow, okay. So get them out, let them do something. Something's better than nothing. And it'll keep them where they need to be. It'll keep them in the right direction. So let's move on to the turkey season. Trout fishing the other day. I know I said this already, and I was standing on the creek, both feet in, not my butt this time. And I, I heard them turkeys gobbling, the hens were clucking, and it's cold too. I mean, it was probably down in the high 30s. And man, I mean, it just makes your heart tick. Like, bam, there it is, that old thunder coming down. So I love it. I love turkey season. I'm looking forward to my trip to Kentucky to hunt with Jerry again. That's kind of been an annual thing that we're doing, and man, I'm blessed that he has me over, and I enjoy it. Like I enjoy, going and spending the day chasing turkeys, and we always have a good time. Jerry's, they're good people. I'm looking for, you know, whatever. And I wanted to take a trip out west. I want to go kill a Miriam. I want to do the Grand Slam. That's my goal. Work is not cooperative sometimes, and like I really want to do the Grand Slam. So me and Rick had talked about he's got a place in Kansas about going out to Kansas. I hadn't followed up on with him on that yet, but just getting time off work is difficult. So yeah, but if you guys are out scouting for turkey, what are you looking for? Are you looking for, scratching? Are you looking for dusting spots? You know, what do you do? Do you walk the ridge tops? I went out this morning actually at just right at daylight on the back porch because if the turkeys are back here behind the house, like they'll be gobbling. The crows started cutting up and carrying on, and I didn't hear anything, but I did see a big old gobbler. Oh, he's carrying about a 10-inch beard the other day across the road in front of me, and he was coming from my side. And I'm like, okay, like I hope he stays over here. We'll give him an old dirt nap. But one of the things that I do, people think I'm crazy, but I carry binoculars in about all of my vehicles. My old hunting truck, of course, I've got binoculars in there all the time. I've bought two small pairs of binoculars that I carry. I carry one in my other truck, and then I carry one in my police car. Because a lot of times when we're training in some of these areas, I use them for the tracking class too. So that's not uncommon. But yeah, I I carry binoculars in about everything because I can look, I can scan the fields. Like this coming week's gonna be awesome. So anyway, it seems like every time I'm out with the dogs, I can get into some turkeys. But when season rolls around, I don't know what happens. They just disappear. They're like, oh, old goofball got a dog with him. He ain't gonna bother us. and then when he's decked out in a ghillie suit, I think something sneaky going on here. I think we'll get back in the brush. Been spending a lot of time on the river, and man, guys, I'm gonna put this out here to you. If you're fishing in a river, not a lake, in a river, and you're catching bass at under 50 degrees, please send me some messages and tell me what you're doing because the river is absolutely kicking my butt. Like, I've been putting the time in. Like, I've been out multiple times. I mean, I fished over 6 hours yesterday, and I they just not cooperating. So I'd love to hear what you guys are doing. And are you struggling like I am, or are you actually landing some fish? Now, I caught some last week, But again, the weather was up towards the 80s. The water temperature was at 47. Yesterday was at 45. Like I said, these cold fronts coming through are really, really hurting me, like my ability. Like I know it's me because I see a couple people posting fish here and there, and out of the half a dozen times I've been on the river, like I haven't even raised a muskie, and everybody's catching them, and I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Like, am I not holding my mouth right? Am I not? Am I not fishing in the right spots? Like I don't know what it is. So if you guys got something going on, send me a message. Send me a message on Facebook or Instagram, whatever it is. Like um the water flow has changed. So and it's had a really good green tint to it. Yesterday it had a little greenish brown tint to it. I will say yesterday morning when I got out, the wind was literally pushing me back upriver, which was not ideal. So I ended up going upriver and got in a bend of the river to get out of the wind. Like I got in a section that it wasn't hitting, and I mean, like I said, I musky fished for the majority of that, and then I went back upriver to the top of that area, and then I floated back down again and I bass fished. And I mean, I tell you what I'm throwing. I mean, I'm throwing jigs. I'm throwing some chatterbaits. I'm throwing um, some crankbaits. Even threw a couple of jerk baits. Worked them on a slow jerk. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not holding my mouth right. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the weather conditions. I don't know if it's the spots that I'm hunting. Like I can go there when the weather's over 50, the water's over 50, and I can catch fish consistently. But the under 50 mark has been super challenging for me. Like I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. And I like to fish the river tournaments in the summer. And when I say river tournaments, this is our John boats. There's 10 to 20 boats out on a Thursday night, or if we have a big tournament on a Saturday, you partner up with somebody, and it's usually on the weekdays. It's a 3 fish limit, so you take the measurement off of 3 fish, and whatever your number is where you're at. So if you're catching 3 20-inch fish, which is near impossible, that's 60 inches. So if you're anywhere in the 50 48 to 52, 54-inch mark, you're in pretty good shape most of the time. And we did pretty good last year in early April. I got big fish one time, but I love fishing these river tournaments. Um, and I've just decided I suck at it. I am not any good. Like I got to change my game. I told myself the other day, and I've been trying to read. Like I love to read. Like I've been reading on tactics and baits and you know where to go, what area, what parts of the river to fish. Like I've been reading all this stuff, and I mean I'm not a horrible fisher, but like this weather's challenging, and I would like to be able to catch a couple fish in this cooler weather. I mean, I feel like it'll make me better as the year goes on. But yeah, I like those tournaments. It's challenging. We have fun. I just like to fish, so I could care less. I'm gonna be out there fishing whether they have a tournament or not. But my partner, um, he kind of talked me into it. One of the guys, oh, actually, it was my boss at work that I fish with now. Um, yeah, he taught me into it, and be a great group of guys that fish, and we enjoy it. But I got to get better at it. Like the river has not been my friend for muskie or for bass this year, which takes me to the trout. Let's roll it over. Let's go to trout fishing. You know, trout fishing. And again, I heard somebody had posted on Facebook that if you're fishing a stock stream, you're not really fishing. I can agree with that to a point, yeah. But like a week or two ago when I fell in twice, man, I mean you only seen a fish or two, and I mean we fished a pretty big stretch of water. It was hard. It was really hard. Um, And I run into a game warden yesterday while I was putting my boat in. He was down at the boat ramp and talked to him a little bit. And he said people, were struggling. The fish were really slow, the trout. But, I usually never have a problem catching my limit. I may have to spend a little more time doing it, but I usually can catch my limit. Of course, we like to can trout. Everybody asked me about that. We can it. It's kind of like salmon patties it'll be trout patties instead of salmon patties. It's real good. It just alleviates the bones from the fish, so you don't have to work it. You don't have to worry about it. But yeah, I love to trout fish. Caught some nice rainbows. I'll post a picture of a brown that I caught. I caught two actually. But the streams are, producing pretty well. The water is cold. I will tell you from my experience of being wet 3 times out of 2 trips that I took. My favorite lure, trout fishing, and I don't like to slow fish. That's one of my problems too with the bass, like this time of year, is I don't like to slow fish. I love a Joe fly. I like to fish Joe flies, which is a spinner. Right now, I'm using the March Brown or the hackle, the solid black with the gold blade has been the ticket. That's the one that I probably caught the most fish off of. If they're hitting this moving bait, if not, I mean, I like the atomic tubes, the atomic teasers. Caught several off the rat tails. I mean, you can just go on down the list. I do not like to fish power bait. I will if I have to. But that's my last resort. Like if I'm fishing power bait, like it's bad. It's really bad. But that's the things that's some of the baits that I like. Like I said, I love a Joe fly, and I'll tell you a story. So, when we were out in Yellowstone a couple years ago, and we had the opportunity to fish the Firehole River, and didn't realize that you could actually fish in Yellowstone. And we went down to one of the fishing stores. Of course, they're all Orvis or whatever. So we stopped in and said, hey, we talked to them about fishing. They're like, yeah, absolutely. It come in the day before yesterday. You can fish here, here, and here, and kind of showed us on a map where we could fish. But I noticed everybody was fly fishing. And guys, I'm sorry, it's just not my thing. Like, it's not my thing. Maybe that's when I retire, I can learn it. But so there was 2 old Walmart poles at the Airbnb that we stayed at. So I went in and I wanted to buy some Joe flies. They didn't have them. They just had your Panther Martins and your Meps. And of course you had to file down or cut off the barbs. They had to be barbless. So we went to this one section and started fishing it. And there was a fly fisher. There was 2 fly guys below me. And of course, these Walmart poles had, I don't know what size line they had on them. You couldn't throw them 40 feet. They weren't a good setup, but they were a pole. So me and Tegan we were fishing, and I ended up catching one. And man, I mean, it was on fire. So I caught 2 or 3 right there, and I was trying to get Tegan to catch one. So I had moved down and told her, hey, right behind that rock in that little eddy right there, try to throw it over there. So she ended up catching one. Well, those 2 fly guys, man, they got mad. Like they packed up their stuff and left. And I know for you fly fishermen that fishing with a spinning rod is the ultimate sin. But that was all we had. And if I'd had to fish with a fly rod, it took me 3 days just to figure out how to cast the darn thing. But yeah, I ended up catching 8 out of that little section right there. And it was one of the most phenomenal fishing experiences that I've had. Like being able to fish in Yellowstone. I mean, there's buffalo standing, or bison standing on the other side of the river. I mean, there's a actual a wolf kill right upriver from where we're at. And I mean, you're in the middle of Yellowstone, standing out, which we had to fish from the bank because we didn't have waders. You're fishing in this like most magnificent place. So one of my best experiences fishing was fishing in Yellowstone. And I'm sorry for the fly fisher guys that I made you mad, but it's all we had. Got to make it work, right? Whatever you got to make it work. So that's that. So yeah, what are you doing with your hounds in the off season, right? Are you taking them on walks? Are you letting them out, letting them stretch their legs a little bit? Take those opportunities. I mean, it may be small ones, but they're better than none. Like every chance I get, I'm trying to get a dog or two out. Have you started hearing turkeys yet? Because I have, and we are less than a month away by the time this drops. And please, what's the fish biting in your area? If you're a really good river fisherman, let me know how I can improve what I'm doing. Because what is it Albert Einstein says? If you continue doing the same thing over and over and expect different results, that's the definition of insanity. And I'm trying to switch up my speeds. I'm trying to switch up the baits that I'm fishing. I'm trying to switch up a lot of different things, and I've just not found the right combination yet. I don't know whether it's color. I don't know whether it's bait. I don't know whether it's the fishing style. Maybe it's the fishing area. And I actually went to a different area yesterday, a place that I hadn't fished this year. I've had really good luck there in the past catching muskies, and I know there's muskies there. And I actually had a reliable person tell me that a guy had caught 3 there the week before, pretty much in the same little area. And I was like, oh, yeah, okay, well, I know they're there. I've seen them there before. I've caught them there before. So that's why I went there. So I switched up my fishing area, but I'm struggling. I am struggling. Spring's a great time to be in the woods, whether you're working dogs, chasing turkeys, or catching a few trout. Thank you, guys, and we will catch you on the next episode of Creekside Chronicles. It's going to be a wrap for this episode of Creekside Chronicles. We appreciate you spending your time with us, whether you're in the truck, in the woods, or sitting by the creek listening along. Thank you for walking this trail with us. And thank you to W Supply for hosting the podcast and supporting what we do. Be sure to check them out and go to wsupply.com for all of your hound needs. Until next time, keep your dogs fed right, your boots muddy, and we'll see you down the trail.
Tailgate drops before the light, coolers packed and the rig sitting right, tracking collars charged, beeping green, boots in the bed and the rifle's clean. Dog box rattling, engines hum, we're chasing bear till the day is done. Old ring barking like he knows what's near, nose to the wind, tail full of cheer. From the Virginia mountains to the Carolina clay, we're burning fuel and miles each day. Every turn's another tale, through mountain mist and paper trails. We see the sunset red in Tennessee, rise through the fog in old WV. North Carolina's pines echo loud with the cry of a hard-run hound. New York forest, Maine's deep snow, Vermont valleys where the black bears go. Truck keeps rolling, wheels don't care. We're chasing daylight, chasing bear. Rest stops few, the roads are long, but the fire in our hearts still burns strong. Wisconsin mornings cutting crisp and clear, Canada's wildwoods drawing near. Still got states we ain't run, but that hound dog fever won't let us quit. We see the sunset red in Tennessee, rise through the fall in old WV. North Carolina's pines echo loud with the cry of a hard-run hound. New York chasing bear. Gas station coffee, Alpha XL on the dash. Another back road, another bear track. Friends made fast and stories told slow. Under stars where only hunters go. We see the sunrise gold in Canadian air, and it sets on a trail down in Appalachia. Packing steel and leather, grit and care. We're built for the road and chasing bear. So load the dogs and slam the gate. There's a trail ahead, we won't be late. From dawn to dusk, we're always there. Chasing daylight, chasing them bears.